Welcome back to the Cardman's Cards. I'm the Cardman. And today we're going to be doing another composite of archetypes, I guess. We're doing Tellarknights, which combine Satellarknights, Constellar, and then the overall Tellarknights. Because there are some cards that are just specifically Tellarknights. Like, Tellarknight. Here we go. It's just a Tellarknight. But all the cards that are Stellar or Constellar, they all have Tellarknight in their name to begin with. So I'm just boiling it down to Tellarknight. Like, for example, this guy here, he's a Constellar Knight. And you can just chop off the first prefix, and just Tellarknight. So, we're going to go ahead and do this one. This one's a little weird to make because the deck's older and it had some new support recently. I want to say I think it was like a year or two ago. But yeah, it's basically just rank 4 toolbox now, where you can basically play any rank 4 support cards you really wanted to, and you're pretty okay. I would say there's better rank 4 toolbox decks out there, but this is definitely fun, especially if you want to play with light monsters. Let's go ahead and jump into it. First off, we have 3 I'm going to be confusing names, so just a fair warning. Satellarknight Deneb. It's a level 4 light warrior effect, 15,000. If this card is summoned, you can add 1 Tellarknight monster from your deck to your hand except Tellarknight Deneb. Use this effect of Tellarknight Deneb once per turn. So, he is your main searcher. He is the Rhoda of the deck. You summon him and he searches anything. A lot of their effects read when they're summoned, so if you special summon these guys, their effects will still trigger, which is very helpful. He's an easy 3 of just because you summon him, you get a card, and you do shit. But yeah, other than that, he's just kind of there. Very generic, very vanilla effect, but good effect. Next up, we have 3 Tellarknight lyran. Is another level 4 light warrior, 12-16. He's always treated as a Constellar card, which is fine, doesn't really matter. If a Tellarknight or Constellar monster is normal summoned to your field, except Tellarknight lyran, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is summoned, you can add 1 Tellarknight spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Use each effect of Tellarknight lyran once per turn. So, he's an extension. If he's in hand, when you summon another one, and if he is summoned, you add a Tellarknight spell or trap, which is like 2 or 3 of them. You can add. So you can add your spell and traps with this guy. So he's basically your spell trap searcher. That's all he really is, which is nice. Another easy 3 of with the Deneb as well, because they're basically just searchers for other cards that just give you extension and combos. Next up, we have 2 Constellarknight. I think is how I pronounce that one. I think he's one of the newer ones. He's a level 4 light spellcaster. Right? Yeah, he's a spellcaster. These guys are warriors. He's different. He's 16, 15, 50. Weird stats. If you control a Constellar monster except himself, push summon this card from your hand. During the main phase, you can add 1 Constellar spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of previous effects of Constellarknight once per turn. A Constellar XC monster that has this monster as material gains effect if this battles a light or dark monster. For damage calculation, banish that monster. So, it's a spell trap search, which is similar to Orion here. It's also a free summon if you control any Constellar monster. So, inherently, it's better than Orion, because you can go Deneb, search Caduceus, and then whatever, and then summon him, and then just search your spell trap off of that. So, not inherently a bad card. Only reason he's more of a 2 of is just because you have to control a Constellar to summon him, but some of them aren't Constellar. Something like this is Tellarknight, yeah. So his effect doesn't necessarily come up a whole lot. It's a good effect, but there's not really many effects that would summon himself. Like, I think the only one here is this guy. Or Lyran. If you normally summon Lyran and you have him, boom, special. But other than that, he doesn't necessarily have free summon, which kind of stinks, but it's not bad. Next up, we have Satellarknight Vega. He is a 2 of. I've seen playing around when you can cut him to 1. if you so choose. I think 2 is fine. There's a couple of the next couple that you can cut down to 1 or 2. We'll play more of if you so choose. He's a level 4 warrior, light, 12, 16. If this card is special summon one Tellarknight monster from your hand, except Tellarknight Vega, with this effect, a Tellarknight Vega once per turn. So he just basically summons himself and then summons another Tellarknight. So basically, any of the monsters we've gone over, he can summon. So yeah, that's just helpful. The main reason he's at 2 of is just that he kind of just serves his purpose. He just, oh, boom, summon, I did a thing. It's just an extension card. Not necessarily needed for more or less. You really wanted to run a 3 of, you can. I would say maybe cut Brian down or this guy. But other than that, I wouldn't worry about it. Next up, we have 2 Tellarknights Altairan. He's a level 4 warrior, 17, 13. He's always treated as a Constellar card, so another card that would help tie into Caduceus up here. But other than that, he is a good send to grave off the next guy. Because if this card is summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of light or dark monsters you control to destroy them. If a Tellarknight or Constellar monster is special summoned to your field, except Tellarknight Altairan, except during the damage step, you can summon this card from your grave. Also, you can declare attacks for the rest of the turn, except Pixie monsters. Use each effective Tellarknight Altairan once per turn. So, you would like to get him in grave and then summon something off an effect to trigger him, summon him back, and then just pop your opponent's cards. Very good effect. He's typically ran as a 1 of, but if he gets called by, Bastiles, anything like that, and they can remove him, especially if your opponent knows what it does, a second copy isn't necessarily a hurt, but you can easily cut this to 1 if you think the second one's too bricky or just not needed. Totally personal preference. I feel 2 is a good number. Then we have next up Satellarknight. I'm going to try to pronounce this guy's name. I'm probably going to fail horribly. This is Unukalhai. It is a level 4 warrior light, 18,000. If this card is summoned, you can send 1 Tellarknight from your deck to your grave, except itself. You only each effect of Tellarknight Unukalhai once per turn. So, he's just a foolish. That's all he really is. He basically just sends your Altairan. That's all. Next up, we have Satellarknight Altairan. Like a baby version of this guy. I think maybe, I don't know. Level 4 warrior light, 17, 13. This card is summoned. You can target 1 Satellarknight in your grave, except itself. Special summon that monster in the defense position. Also, monsters you control cannot attack the rest of the turns, except Tellarknight monsters. Each effect is a Tellarknight Altairan once per turn. Altairan. He's not bad. It's just the fact in this variation of the deck, we're playing a lot of non-Tellarknight extra deck monsters. So if you use him, he basically locks you out of winning for a game if you're not using your Tellarknights, which is not inherently a bad effect or bad restriction. It just kind of stinks more than anything, because you'll be like, oh, I'm going to go Utopia double because it's a rank 4 light warrior monster. Woohoo! No. Just no. He can't attack. But yeah. Yeah, that's the only reason he's like lower. If you want to run him as a 2 of, cut this guy, then put a second one of him in. Completely personal option. I just feel 1 is fine. Mainly because if you're running a lot of non-Tellarknight extra deck monsters, he is not that helpful. He's good, especially if you can summon him, and like you're going first and it doesn't matter. That's great. But other turns, he's poop. Next up, we have Constellar Sheratan. He's a level 3, a light beast, 719. This is one of the OG Constellar monsters. Main reason you're running this guy is for 1, small world, because he's a good bridge between shit. Because he is a light monster that's not level 4, but can match up to some of these guys, as long as the stats aren't the same. So basically, you can send Ash. Ash grabs this guy, because they're both level 3s, and then this guy grabs any of your light monsters because they're all light. None of them are the same. He's a beast. These guys are all light warriors or spellcasters. And I think the stats are pretty vague. The defense is the only one you gotta worry about, which is 19,000, 16, 1550, 16, 13,000, 13. Yeah, none of your guys, even your other ones, are what? 900, yeah, 300. Yeah, none of the other monsters you're running that are light warriors or extenders care. He's just a good small world bridge. That's all he's really there for. In addition to, you have to summon him. He's not bad because if you normal summon a Constellar, if you normal summon him, you can add a Constellar monster, which you can add either Caduceus, lyran, this guy, any of them. So he's not inherently a bad card. If you wanted to, you could definitely cut him to 1 just as purely as a small world bridge, and maybe searching for other stuff. But it's just 2 as just redundancy, I guess. Because it's like, oh, I want to activate small world a couple times. I've already used my 1 bridge. I want a second one, you know what I mean? I don't know. I fight 2 is a good number. You can easily cut him to 1 if you so choose. Or cut him entirely if you find small world not effective. I don't know. I just feel small world's very linear when it comes to this. Because even with Effect Veiler and this guy, the only thing they have in common is they're both lights. And again, you can just go light to light again. So basically, all your searchers link into other cards. Same thing with Nibiru. He's a rock. He's not a rock. He's level 3, level 11. Stats are nothing the same. Again, you can just search boom, boom. So basically, it's just really easy small world bridge. Next up, we have 2 Sakitama. This is one of the Spirit Tama monsters. There's 3 of them. The other 2 aren't inherently bad. They're just not as good as inherently good as Sakitama. He was released in I want to say Dune or some more recent set in the past year or so. He's level 4 light fairy spirit, so he bounces the hand on the end phase. 400, 900 is the stats. Cannot be special summoned once per turn during the end phase if this card is normal summoned or flip face up during this turn. From this card to the hand, you can use each effect of Sakitama once per turn. Reveal this card in your hand. Immediately this effect resolves, normal 1 spirit monster from your hand. This card is attributed to target 1 spirit monster in your grave added to your hand. So his effect basically just reveal itself, normal summon itself. It's just a free extender. That's all it is. It's just, boom, level 4 monster. Which is not bad. Very helpful. Yeah, just, you can run him if you so choose. There's other light extenders that would do similar things. But Sakitama just inherently just has no restrictions. It's just reveal spirit, summon. That's all. Next up, we have Ascended Sage. Interesting pick. I saw this as someone's tech card a little while ago. It's a level 4 light warrior, 900, 300. If you control no cards, special summon this card from your hand. If you make an Ixie monster with it, it's Utopia. Gains an effect, you can add 1 rank up magic normal spell from your deck to your hand. Even if you don't able to summon this, you can summon it off of Ascended Sage, which they got recently. I think in Ghost of the Past 2, I think. About a year or so ago. You can summon this guy directly from deck, and if you have another material available, you can go into your Utopia line and get a bunch of negates or board cards really easily. And like two monster negates on have a spell trap negate off of 1 monster, which is really cool. You really only need enough monsters to make 2 Ixies, which isn't necessarily hard to do. Especially when you have some extenders that are just inherent summons, like him, Sakitama. Some of these guys are just, oh, search a card, do a thing. Search a card, do a thing. Or summon a card, do a thing. So pretty good support. If you wanted to be more consistent, you could definitely run this as a 3 of just to see it more often. But again, you don't necessarily have to. Next up, we have 1 CW Twin Pegasus, mainly because we're running a Utopia package. He is a level 5 light beast. 1021. If you control ZW Pegasus Twin Saber, not Twegasus. If your opponent life points are 2k or higher than yours, summon this card from your hand, which is never going to happen because you're not running the Utopia card. Oh god, what is that Utopia card? I don't know. It's a continuous spell that you pay 500, draw a card. It's really good in Utopia, not good in anything else. And then you can target a Utopia monster you control, equip this card to it. It's a quick spell, gains 1000 attack. Once per turn, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can negate a monster effect if activated on your opponent's field. So, it's a monster effect negate. On top of it gives a boost to the monster it's equipped to. So, good stuff. That is it for the in-deck monsters. Only ones left are hand traps, but I'm going to quickly go over. Hand traps can vary no matter what you want. You can throw whatever hand traps you in there feel are more viable. Say you think, I don't know, what's a really obscure hand trap? Spooky Dogwood. There we go. One of the ghost girls that's not very commonly used. You say Spooky Dogwood better in this matchup. Throw in Spooky Dogwood. The ones I'm currently running are 2 Nibiru if you summons opponent. It's a level 11 rock, 3k, 600. If your opponent summons 5 or more times, you can just summon this guy, sends their entire board to the grave. Very good card, especially for combo decks. Ash, very common card that's played. Level 3 fire, zombie tuner, 0-18. Your opponent activates one of the effects of adding a card from deck to hand, summons a monster from deck, or sends a card from deck to grave. You can discard this card and get that effect. Good card. And then we have Effect Failure, which is target negation. Target a card during your opponent's main phase. You can send this card from your hand to the grave. Target effect monster when it controls negates effects. Pretty much it. Let's go ahead and then jump into the spells. First up, we have 2 Constellar Tellarknights. Main reason you're running 2 of the spells for each of them is because they're recyclable. Some of the card effects allow you to put them back or reuse them, so it's not in the end of the world. It's a continuous spell. When this card is activated, you special summon one Tellarknight Constellar monster from your hand or grave. You can target one Tellarknight or Constellar Xyz monster from your spell. You can draw a special summon from your extra deck, or Constellar Xyz monster with a different rank by using that Xyz monster you control as material. This treats an Xyz summon. Transfer material to special summon monsters. You only use each effect Constellar Tellarknight once per turn. You only activate one Constellar Tellarknight per turn. So it allows you to summon a Constellar Tellarknight from deck, hand, or grave. Is it deck or hand? Hand or grave. Sorry, not deck. Hand or grave. And then it allows you to also target a Tellarknight or Constellar Xyz monster and rank up on top of it with another one. So good card. Not inherently the best, but pretty good. Next up we have Satellarknight Skybridge. It's a quick play spell. Target one Tellarknight monster you control. Special summon one Tellarknight monster with a different name from your deck, and if you do, shuffle that targeted monster into the deck. While the monster summoned by this effect is face up in the field, you can also summon monsters except Tellarknight monsters. You only activate one Skybridge per turn. So this does lock you into Tellarknights. Most of your in-deck monsters are Tellarknights, so if you choose to use Skybridge, you inherently are stuck into Tellarknights, which is fine. You mainly want to use this during your opponent's turn. But other than that, it's pretty okay. Next up, we got 2 Small World. Small World is a good card. It allows you to basically return something into something else by just activating it. Because the way a Small World works, you reveal monster in hand, choose one monster in the deck that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense. Banish the revealed monster in your hand face down. Then add from the deck to your hand one monster with exactly one type of the same type, attribute, level, attack, defense, whatever, as a revealed monster from deck. Banish the monster revealed from deck face down. Then you add the card. So basically, how it would work is, say I have Nibiru, reveal Nibiru, then I would search Sheratan, banish the Nibiru, Sheratan, add anything else, and then banish Sheratan and grab the card at the same time. But yeah, that's basically what Small World does. It allows you to turn any card into something else if you have the appropriate bridge. And there's a ton of Small World bridges in decks. There's even entire sheets of spreadsheets of how to get to certain cards with certain decks. This one's all pretty easy. It's basically you reveal a light, you choose a different light with different stats, and then you move on. The sad thing is most of them here are all level 4, so your best bet are your hand traps, or you go Ascended Sage, into Sataran. They're both lights, but one's beast, one's level 4, and stats are completely different. So Sataran still works in that bridge sense most of the time. I think there's 1 or 2 probably in there that doesn't work, because all of them are not beast. And I do believe all their stats are different enough to where the only thing the same is their light. So, helpful. Yeah, I do believe. And then you can just search into anything else. So basically, if you open Small World and basically any light monster, Satellarknight is the way to go. Because Satellarknight is completely different than everything else in the deck. The only thing he's similar to is light. And that's good. Next up, we have two kind of brick cards. They're bricks if you draw them, but not necessarily terrible. I would say the rank up magic's less of a brick than the next one, because you can use this inherently on the turn that you have it. As the next one, you can't unless you summon normal Utopia, the way the card reads. But you target 1 rank 9 or Utopia Ixie monster you control, summon level 10 or rank 10 or higher Utopia or topic Ixie monster from your extra deck by using that monster's Ixie material. Control as material. This is reason Ixie summon. Here's material to summon monster. An Ixie monster is special summoned by its effective rank 10 higher Utopic Ixie monster or those cards in the graveyard. Except during the damage step, you can target one of the special summoned monsters. Attach this card to it as material. So, what you want to do is make Utopia, go into Utopia Prime, or any Utopia rank up thing. I personally use Utopia Ray just because it's a vanilla, it's cheap. Utopia Prime's like $5. If you want to spend less, Utopia Ray is like even cheaper. Go on top of it and then target this with the rank up spell. Go into Dragonar. Dragonar's going to get you any number monster. And then on your opponent's turn, when they draw or stand by, use it again. Since it's 2 uses, it's once per turn. You can summon a second one, and you can just get really good, easy boards off with very little monsters. So yeah, very helpful card. You mainly search this off of the Ascended Sage because of Ascended Sage's effect. When it's used for Ixie material, you allow it to search this card. The next one that I would truly think is just inherently a brick for the deck is Utopia. This is double for nothing. It's a Utopia card in a sense, but not necessarily. It's a quick play spell. When a monster attacks and monster attack is negated, target that monster. It can make another attack during the battle phase. If it does, its attack is doubled during the damage step. The only real card that can take advantage of this is 1, Utopia Double, because it searches it for free, and Utopia itself. Because Utopia has an ability to negate attacks. It can negate its own attack. That's how you trigger this card. And then it becomes stupidly huge. It's an OTK strat. That's what this is for. Say your opponent summons one monster that's like 2k, they have no interruption, and you know you can kill. Go Utopia Double effect, into Utopia, grab double or nothing, proceed to battle phase, attack with Utopia's effect, detach a material, negate its own attack, trigger double or nothing, he goes up to 10k. Because double or nothing doubles attack anyways, so you got some 25 to 5k, and then 5k to 10k, and then just destroy the monster. It can attack directly, which is luckily the only downside to it. If your opponent puts any 2k or less body on the board, and they can't stop it, you just win. But yeah, if you draw it, it sucks. Because technically Utopia Double cannot resolve. Because the card it searches before it ranks or changes itself to Utopia itself is not in the deck of where it's supposed to search. So it can't resolve. It just does nothing. Which sucks. Lastly, for the main deck, we have 3 of an Impermanence. Again, another literal hand trap in this case. It is like effect feather with target negation, but it also has an additional effect if it's set. The spell and trap in the spell and trap column itself is negated. That's in. Yours and your opponent's. So just be wary. That's it for the main deck. Let's go ahead and jump into the extra deck. A lot of these are pretty common cards. The only ones that are not common are the Constellar cards, because most people don't know what they do. Let's go ahead and do it. We have a rank 12 light machine Ixie, 3k, Divine Arsenal, AA-ZEUS. You know what Zeus does. Once a turn of an Ixie monster battle this turn, you can also Ixie summon Divine Arsenal, AA-ZEUS-Sky-thunder by using a material you attack this turn on top of it. And quick effect, you can detach your material from this card. Send all monsters on the field to the grave. And if a monster is destroyed by battle or card effect while you control this card, you can attach one material from the hand, deck, or extra deck to this card as material. Very common card to be played. Next up, we have Utopic. Number 99, Utopia Dragonar. Level another rank 12, Light Warrior Ixie 3k 3k. Materials are level 3 or 312 monsters, which you're never going to use. Quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card. That's summon 1 extra deck number monster between 100 and 101 in its name. This is treated an Ixie summon. Turn you activate this effect, other monsters you control cannot attack directly. Also, you don't summon for the rest of the special from the extra deck except Ixie monsters. When opponent's monster declares an attack, you can change the attack of the opponent's monster to 0. You only use each effect of Utopia Dragonar once per turn. So, you get 2 free any number monster, 1 from 100, off of this guy. And a lot of the number monsters have good effects, like Hope Harbinger, which is the next card. Number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon to Titanic Galaxy. It's a rank 8 Light Dragon Ixie, 3k 25. To level 8 monsters and material. Once per turn when a spell card or effect is activated on the field, quick effect negate the activation, and if you do, attach that card to this as material. When this monster declares an attack, you can detach one material from this card, change that attack target to this card, and perform damage calculation. When a face-up Ixie monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one face-up Ixie monster you control. It gains attack equal to one of the destroyed monster's original attack. So, it's a spell negate, which is very helpful. Spells are the most powerful thing in the game. And it also has attack redirection, especially if your opponent's trying to swing over like a small body with like something around Hope Harbinger stats. You can just make Hope Harbinger take the attack and then destroy the opponent's monster. Or you can just use the effect of Dragonar to drop it to 0 and then make it swing into Hope Harbinger and take 3k, which is kind of stupid but fun. Next up, we have a Constellar one, which is Satellarknight Constellar Diamond. It's a light worm, which is weird. Ixie effect, 27 2k. It's rank 5. Requires 3+5 light monsters. During main phase 2, you can also Ixie summon this card by using a Tellarknight Ixie monster you control as material, except Satellarknight Constellar Diamond. Transfer material to this card. While this card has material, neither player can send cards from the deck to the grave. Any card... hold on a minute. Any card that returns from the grave to the hand is banished instead. When an opponent's dark effect is activated, dark monster effect, you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation if you do destroy it. So it allows you to stop dark monsters' effects from activating, on top of other hand or milling type of stuff. But yeah, it's not inherently a bad card. It's more of a floodgate effect. But yeah, it's not... It's useful. Dark is like the second most common type. But moving on to the next one, we have Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. It is treated as it's a rank 5 Light Warrior Ixie, 25 2k. It requires 3 level 5 monsters. Always treated as number C39 Utopia Ray. So if you're deck building with this guy, you need to keep that in mind. That no deck building, he's still considered number C39 Utopia Ray. So you only can have, say you have 1 Utopia Ray, then you have this guy. You can only have 2 of him, 1 Ray, or 3 him and 0 Ray. However you want to word it, but he basically, in deck building standards, he is still considered the same card as Utopia Ray. So you have to be careful about that. There's a few other ones that are treated like that, but technically are by game rules. They're all perceived as the same exact card. I know it's weird, but that's how it is. Because it's a specific card. Not as it's treated always as like a Archfiend or a Constellar card. It's treated as this monster specifically. That's why its restrictions are so limiting and weird. But it has a pretty good effect. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card. Equip 1 ZW monster from your deck or extra to this card as if equipped by that monster's effect. This effect activation and effect cannot be negated, which is nice. While this card is equipped with the ZW monster, quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negates effects, and if you do, have its attack. So, this allows you to be... This is summonable off of Dragonar, because it's treated as a number monster, which is great. On top of that, you can go ahead and attach your Twin Pegasus from the deck to it, as some of the ZW monsters have an effect that allows you to equip them from hand, but Pegasus doesn't, which is okay, because you can just equip him directly off of Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray, which is very great. Very, very helpful. Next up, we have another rank 5 Constellar Pleiades. It's a Light Warrior Ixie, 2515. Just 2 level 5 monsters, that's all it requires. It's pretty generic, and has a pretty good effect. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, target one card in the field, return that card to the target of the hand. So yeah, it's just a bounce. Just a bounce, which is nice. It's a good effect, it's a quick effect, so just boink, go away. So yeah, good effect. You can run it more than 2 if you so choose, but one's fine. And the last actual Constellar Tellarknight Ixie we're running is Tellarknight Constellar Caduceus. This is the Ixie version of the Index monster. It's a rank 4, light spellcaster Ixie, 1650. Weird stats. 2 level 4 monsters. If this card is Ixie summon, you can target one Tellarknight and or Constellar card in your grave, add it to your hand. You can banish one Tellarknight or Constellar monster from your hand or deck, and detach one material from this card. Effect becomes the banished monster's effect. That activates when it's normal summoned. You only each effect Tellarknight Constellar Caduceus once per turn. That is hard to read. So, basically what you do is you target a Constellar card in the grave, Constellar Tellar or Constellar, good god, in the grave, banish a monster of the same variety from the hand or deck, and it's treated as that monster's effect. Again, this ties back to Sheratan. You banish Sheratan, use his effect to grab a Constellar monster from deck. That's all it's there for. Again, Sheratan ties a lot of this stuff together. But other than that, then you just turn it into Pleiades or other stuff. Or Diamond. You can do both. They're both good. They're both good effects. Needs a 2-of just because you can make a bunch of Ixies with it. And you can turn them into 2 good bodies. You can turn it into a quick effect, just bounce, and then a quick effect. Kind of floodgate monster with Diamond. So yeah, they're not bad. It's a good 2-of. And then next up we have number S39, Utopia Prime. It's a rank 4 Warrior Light Ixie, 2510 and 2K. Its effect, I swear to you, does not matter. I'm going to go over it anyway, just because I'm that dude. But its effect truly does not matter. You're never going to use its effect unless you're crazy. It's not a bad effect. It's just a very weird effect. Materials are level 3, level 4 light monsters. You can only Ixie summon by using number 39 Utopia you control as material. Ixie materials attached to this card also become Ixie materials on this card, so it just gains the materials of Utopia. If your opponent's life points are at least 3k or higher than yours, detach 3 materials from this card and pay life points so you only have 10 left. Destroy as many special monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, banish them. And inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each monster banished. So, it is a good board wipe. Don't get me wrong. But you gotta put yourself to 10 life points to do it. Which is dumb. If you know that will win you the game, and you know you can throw a lethal on board after this effect results, and you don't have to worry about your life points, absolutely, go for it. If this is the only way you know that you can win, you've not done anything in particular, it's still in the deck, go for it. Because 100% of the time, this is going to do something weird and wacky, but 90% of the time, it is just going to be as a material to go over top of Utopia, to go into Dragonar. That's all it's going to be there for. Again, you can use this effect, but you're never really going to want to. Mainly because it drops you to 10 life points. Next up, we have number 39, Utopia, the Vanilla. He's a rank 4 warrior, light Ixie, requires 2 level 4 monsters, one of the first Ixies ever printed. Still a really iconic monster, my personal favorite boss monster of most of them, because he's dope. I just like his design, he looks cool. Giant sword. 25, 2k defense. When a monster declares an attack, you can detach one material on this card, negate its attack. If this card is targeted for an attack while it has no materials, destroy this card. So, it prevents attacks, negates attacks, and if it has no materials, it just blows up. So that sucks. But still, decent card. Has a whole archetype and like story behind it. Really interesting. I have a video about Utopia. Go watch it if you want to learn about the base stack. I'm weird. I'm referencing myself in my own video. That's a first. Kind of creepy. But still, it's a good video. You should watch it. As however as you feel like. I'm trying to keep these regularly updated. But let's move on to the next monster. It's another Utopia monster. The rest of the extra deck is. We have number 39, Utopia. Double. You're seeing double. Oh no. Either you've had too much to drink or your glasses are messed up. One of the two. Your pick. It's a light warrior of rank 4, Nixie 025. Requires level 4 monsters. Quick effect, you can detach one material on this card. Add one double or nothing from your deck to your hand. And then switch someone from your deck. One Utopia Ixie monster, the number 39 Utopia. Double. Except itself, sorry. By using this face-up monster, you control its material, and if you do, its attack becomes double. Cannot attack directly. This is treated as an Ixie summon. Transfer materials to summon monster. You can only use each effective Utopia number. 39 Utopia double per turn. So, you make double. Go into Utopia with 5k. Negate its effect. Sorry, negate its attack. Use double or nothing. Make it 10k. Poke for game. Effective. Next up, we have ZW, Utopic Sage. The rank 4 Light Warrior, 2k25. Excuse me. You can detach 2 materials from this card. Unless someone won a ZW or ZS monster from your deck for the rest of the turn. You only attack with number monsters. You cannot special summon certain except Ixie monsters. You only each effect of ZW Utopic Sage once per turn. If a Utopia or Utopic Ixie monster you control, whose original attribute is light, will be destroyed by battle or card effect, except Utopic Sage. Removes a card from the field or grave instead. So it has a protection effect, while also getting your ZW or ZS cards out of the deck. So, send a Sage, Twin Pegasus. Helpful. And then lastly, not lastly, but the last chunk of cards, all revolve around getting a big towers monster. We have a Gagaga Magician, Dark, level 4, Spellcaster Ixie, 2k, 2k. Level 2, level 4 monsters. You can detach one material from this card. Target one Ixie monster in your grave, except Gagaga Magician. Special summon it, leading negate its effects. Only use each effect of Gagaga Magician once per turn. A Utopic Future monster, Ixie monster that has this card's material gains its effect. During your main phase, you can detach one material from this card. Target one Ixie monster you control is on the end of the turn. You can use attack to 4k. Also negate its effects. So there's that. But yeah, basically you make any other non-number Ixie, so any of your Tellarknight cards. Make Gagaga Magician, summon the one back, and then go into Utopic Future, number F0. 2 Ixie monsters with the same rank except number monsters. This card's original rank is always treated as 1. It's a Light Warrior Ixie 0/0. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Neither player takes any battle damage from the attacks involving this card. At the end of the damage step of this card battles opponent's monster, you can take control of that opponent's monster until the end of the battle phase. If this card is face up on the field, will be destroyed by battle or card effect. You get material from this card instead. Not inherently amazing, but it gets an evolution into number F0 Utopic Drago Future, a Light Warrior Ixie 3k 2k. 3 Ixie monsters with the same rank except number monsters. His original card becomes treated as 1, always treated as Utopic Future. You can also Ixie summon this card by using F0 Utopic Future and control as material. So you can rank it on top of regular F0. Once per turn, your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect. You catch one monster, one material from this card. Negate the activation, and if you do that monster on the field, gain control of it. So it's a negate. It's basically Widow Anchor. That's basically what this card is. It's Widow Anchor. And it's also cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. So it's a towers that has Widow Anchor as an effect. Except it doesn't require having 3 spells. But still, overall good card. Especially for rank 4 toolbox. I can easily make Utopia or Utopic Sage, and then summon Ascended Sage and all that jazz. But overall, good monster. Utopic Drago Future is a very common staple in Ixie decks. There's a lot of decks that run it, including my Utopia one. Ooh. But yeah, that is it for the extra deck. I'm gonna quickly go over some side or extra deck cards that you could possibly run and or use if you're so inclined. just quickly, just because I know this video is probably going to be almost 45 minutes, if not longer, because I have been rambling. First up, we have another hand trap, Skullmeister. It is Primal activates a card in grave. Use this card, negate that effect. That's all it does is just negates cards in grave. Helpful. We have Galaxy Wardrake. This is a jump promo. It is not out yet in the TCG. I do not know when it will come out in the TCG. But it's an interesting effect. If a level 4 light monster is special summoned to your field, you can summon this card from your hand or grave, but mention it leaves the field. And you can target a level 4 monster you control. Its level becomes this level, and this card becomes 8 until the end of the turn. You only each effect of Galaxy Wardrake once per turn. You don't have to summon from the rest of the turn except light monsters. Everything in the deck's light. That's only. But Wardrake is interesting because it allows you to basically get a free body on board, and if you have the free extension already, you can turn Wardrake and any other monster you control into a big number monster, like number 90, Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, which is another negate. So you can just make it free negate with this guy, which is pretty cool and pretty interesting. Again, just an option. Like, for example, you didn't want to run the Sakitama. You can just cut the Sakitama completely, run 2 Galaxy Drake, you'll be okay. Granted, I don't know when Galaxy Drake is coming out, so there's that. But a good card. And the other ones we have are Ghost Ogre. When an opponent activates a card or effect on the field, that's or when Spell Trap. When Spell Trap is already phased up, activates effect. Quick effect, send this card from your hand or field to the grave. Destroy that card in the field. So it helps play around anything that's a continuous trap or spell. So field spells, continuous spells, cards that can treat it as continuous spells. The new Exodia cards that are coming out, Infinite Forbidden, just to reference when this video is being recorded. Infinite Forbidden comes out later this week. Comes out on the Friday of this week. Does a number on that deck, because the way they work is their monsters put themselves in the spell and trap zone to do stuff. You can just pop them before they can resolve, which is nice. We have Ghost Bell. We have a card that does stuff with the grave. If your opponent adds a card from grave to hand, summons a monster from grave, or banishes a card from grave, Ghost Bell negates it. Just discard and negate. And then draw. If your opponent adds a card from deck to hand, discard this card. They can't add them longer. You can't add for the rest of the turn. And the last two are a couple random cards. Called by the Graves, not random. It's actually really good, and I could not fit in the deck being 40 cards, so I just chose to put it in here. Yeah, if you run a run of 42 cards or 43 cards or whatever, just throw Called by the Grave in. It's helpful. It'll help you, especially with hand traps. Just turn them off. Return a specific hand trap off of the turn. The quick effect spell. Target one monster opponent's grave, banish it if you do. Till the end of the turn, its effects are negated as well as the activated effects and effects on the monsters of the field of the same original name. Very helpful card. So, say you normal summon Deneb. They Ash Deneb. You called by. Banish the Ash. Deneb resolves. Ash is negated. Helpful. And lastly, my own personal card that I thought could be interesting. Constellar Belt. It's a continuous spell card that is pretty bland. It only has one effect, but a very good effect. The activation of light monster effects cannot be negated. So yeah, there's that. So, it's a good card. Especially with his friend. He searches any Constellar spell or trap. So it's searchable. It's searchable. Which is kind of nuts to me. You could easily cut a Skybridge and run this if you felt like it was necessary, like the monsters you were getting negated too much, and you would like some kind of protection. Because any light monster effects, the activation of a light monster, doesn't matter what light monster, just a light monster, nope, can't be negated. Which is nuts. Because the only thing in this deck that's not light, I do believe, is Ash and the Gaga Magician. It's dark. Everything else, lights across the board. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Not inherently like, ooh, game breaking, but very helpful if used. But yeah, I think that's it. My voice is starting to go bad because I forgot to get a drink. But this has been the Cardman's Cards. I'm a Cardman, as always. This has been Tellarknights, or Satellarknights, or Constellarknights, however you want to word it. I say Tellarknights. This has been Tellarknights. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe. And, sorry, a bit nasally right now. Sorry about that. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and keep collecting. Till next time, bye.